Welcome to video lecture. Myself Ashwini RK, Assistant Professor, Civil Department, Rogni College of Engineering and Technology. Today we are going to see about the rail gauges. The gauge of a railway track is defined as a clear minimum perpendicular distance between the inner faces of the two rails. So in the picture it has been shown what is a gauge. You can see that. Rail gauges. The following are the factors affecting the choices of rail gauge. Traffic condition. If the intensity of the traffic on the track is likely to be more, a gauge wider than the standard gauge is suitable. Development of poor areas. The narrow gauges are laid in certain parts of the world to develop a poor area and thus the link the poor area with the outside developed world. Cost of track. The cost of railway track is directly proportional to the width of its gauge. If the fund available is not sufficient to construct a standard gauge, a meter gauge or a narrow gauge is preferred rather than to have a no railway at all. Speed of movement. The speed of a train is a function of a diameter of wheel, which in turn is limited by the gauge. The wheel diameter is usually about 0.75 times the gauge width, and thus the speed of a train is almost proportional to the gauge. If higher speeds are attained, the BG track is preferred to the MG or NG track. Nature of country. In mountainous country, it is advisable to have a narrow gauge of track since it is more flexible and can be laid to smaller radius on the curves. This is the main reason why some important railways covering thousands of kilometers are laid with a gauge as narrow as 610 mm. Broad gauge. It is also called as wide gauge or large line. The gauge distance is 1676 mm. First broad gauge line in India is Porbandar to Thane in 1853. It also used on ports for crane etc. Better stability and even better than a thinner gauges. Standard gauge. The gauge distance is 1435 mm. Used for URTS, that is Urban Rail Transit System, like metro, mono and tram. Till 2010, Kolkata tram system was the only SD line in India. By 2016, Delhi Metro, Mumbai Metro, Bangalore Metro are in operation. Meter gauge. Gauge distance is 1000 mm. Were made to reduce the cost. In India, Nilgiri Mountain Railway is the only meter gauge line in operation. All lines except Nilgiri Railway line will be converted into broad gauge. Narrow gauge. Gauge distance is 762 mm. It is also called a small gauge or small line. As the country is developing, small lines are converted into big lines. Darjeeling Mountain Railway and Kalka Shimla Railway are the popular small gauge lines. Thank you.